No, you're good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another mock draft here by the SportsEthos crew. And we were just laughing here, talking a little fantasy roadshow coming on here. The excellent podcast out there from these guys that will be joining me to break down this mock draft. Coles and Ryan, obviously at Fantasy Trucker on Twitter. Looks like quite a few of you guys joining us right here, right at the start. So I'm happy you guys are here. We're just going to take a minute here and talk about the format here and how you guys feel about that. So could you first, Coles, you're talkative this morning.
Always.
Would you like to talk to me a little bit about Superflex? Is this your preferred format? How do you feel about this format?
I think so. I just like it adds another element of strategy to me. So of course, if you can get an elite quarterback, that's preferred, and then you have that option to kind of load up some depth at the skill positions, and then later on, add whether it's a sleeper quarterback that you like, or maybe a mid-tier like Danny Dimes type quarterback, or you miss out and you go Jefferson, Chase, miss out on a top tier quarterback, and then do I have the depth at wide receiver and I'm confident where I don't need to add a second quarterback. There's just so many different ways you can go with it. Yeah. And then in season, it adds that element as well. So I love it. Anytime you can add another layer of like strategy, I'm in.
Yeah. And Ryan, you feel the same way about this format, man?
Yeah, Superflex is my preferred format. The way it was, previously in the last 10 years as I was playing it, everybody kind of adopted that late round quarterback theory. And this kind of levels the playing field.
Yeah.
There's 32 starting quarterbacks and sometimes 12 teams. So it only makes sense for me to involve two quarterbacks in your lineup.
Yeah.
And kind of really, spread out the playing field and just amp up the strategy.
We do have a question, guys, from my brother, actually. So we're going to hit this first before we start the draft. How are we feeling about James Robinson going to the Giants? Anybody have any thoughts about that right off the top of your head?
Yeah. So first of all, B Cork, thanks for the question. Let's keep these questions just churning out. We want high activity.
Hit us with it.
We want the hard hitting questions. But James Robinson to the Giants, to me, you're not adding a Fournette, a Kareem Hunt, a Dalvin Cook. You're adding someone that is more so a training camp guy. So yeah. I'm more confident in Saquon being there week one and being ready to go.
Yeah.
If they were a little bit worried, then you add one of those, one of those high profile guys. So it makes me more confident in Saquon. I love Saquon this year. He's my RB2.
Yeah.
I could easily have him at RB1.
Yeah, it's I think you're talking about the training camp, and obviously roster sizes just get enormous at that point, and it's all for training camp. So don't think we can really be too worried about it at this point, but
no.
Something to keep an eye on, something to be aware of, obviously. But yeah, I think we're good to go.
He's an Illinois State guy, isn't he, Keith?
I'm not sure about
James
that
Robinson.
You might be right about that
he
one.
is. James Robinson's in Illinois. He's in Illinois. He's a Redbird.
There you go. All right. We're going to go ahead and hit this draft, though, guys. Let's go ahead and randomize this order and get it started. We've got, gosh, I can't believe this. I might need to randomize this again because Nate's gotten the first pick like the last 2 weeks that we've done this. But you know what? We'll keep it. It's fine. He can go ahead and keep drafting from his favorite spot. We'll see how it goes. Then we've got Jamie going next. And then a new guy new contributor for us, Patrick, is going to be drafting third. Cole's your fourth. And Ryan, you're following right up after him. So that's perfect there.
Oh, geez. Mike, don't steal my picks.
He's going to snipe you.
Don't steal my picks.
He'll snipe him on the way back, so it's okay. DFO Land, who's been in every single mock, I think, here. Shane also going to be joining us. My brother is 8th. Arnold's 9th. Mike, another contributor for us, is 10th. And then Jared, another contributor. And then myself. Oh, I get the absolute last one. Perfect. So, all right. Well, let's get this thing started, guys. And, excited to see how this goes. We're going to go ahead and hit the start button here. Nathan's going to get us started off. And he's on the clock. Oh, it's a 2-minute. I meant to make it 1 minute. That's okay. Right, people, be fast. Choose fast, everybody.
Let's go.
But yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about, a little Jordan Addison. I mean, obviously the reckless driving charge. Does that, worry either of you guys? Is he going to face the suspension there?
Yeah, not me. It's precedent in the NFL that with the charge like this, without any alcohol involved, there's really no suspension. I'm not too worried about it. It does worry me with his involvement in the team early on. They're going to take this as kind of like, he's just not going to be accelerated into that offense. I think it'll definitely be taking a step back now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me. I mean, I saw his like. Here,
Pulls is on the clock. Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry, let's let you guys go, and then we'll talk about it some more.
This for me, I'm going tier one.
QB.
Yeah, I'm going Joe Burrow here. I'm going tier one quarterback. My boy, go Tigers. But yeah, so I like in the probably first 5 picks in these. Well, I shouldn't say 5. I'd probably say the first 6. I'm going quarterback. So I'm going these 4 off the board. And then there's 2 more quarterbacks that I like. For me, that's just the route. I like to lock in a top tier guy at quarterback if I'm going, super flex 2 quarterbacks. So for me, it was a no brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going with Lamar Jackson here. He's just, the rushing upside is insane. The new offensive coordinator coming in there. I'm really projecting the Ravens to really make some big steps this year.
So yeah, I slipped over to the QB, kind of rankings here on Sleeper, and there's 3 guys here. I think the top 3 I'd probably take here this first round, somewhere. I think in a Superflex league. After that, I get significantly less excited about the QBs. So we'll see about that. But you could arguably say there's a tier of drop here after Justin Herbert as well. I think Justin Jefferson goes off there, so there's our first non-QB choosing there, and obviously it's a good one. Likely to be the top-ranked wide receiver this year. So yeah, back to Jordan Addison. Did you have a point to make about him there?
So I just saw like a release the other day of the interviews or like the character. I forget what that, not like the Wonderlic. It was something to do with like the interview score. All the teams like release an interview score for the positions, and Addison was at the bottom. So I think you're kind of starting to see that maybe a little, I don't know if it's immaturity or what it is, but teams foresaw something there. Hopefully he gets in check. And I mean, you have Justin Jefferson there. He's a guy who's flashy on the field, but he's relatively quiet off the field. Like you don't see him going out, getting in trouble. He truly wants to be the best. So I don't know. I hope he gets it together. I always root for, young guys to figure it out. So
I'm on the clock here. I mean, the top 2 guys are just staring me in the face right here. I think that's the way I've got to go here. I got to go Kelsey, and then I've got to go Trevor Lawrence.
Great start.
Jacksonville, one of the offenses we have tagged as one of the highest risers this season in our draft guide. So I mean, great start. Talk to me a little bit about that, Ryan. Do you like that start?
I love it, man. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the most improved quarterback this season. And Travis Kelce is who he is. He is the elite of the elite, historically. So, great start.
Yeah. Just Trevor Lawrence for me. I actually have him as my QB 5. So I would have taken him at the 5 spot.
Yeah.
Or in this case at 6, but I would have taken him at Ryan's pick. I think he's going to take another huge step forward. I think, he had 25 touchdowns last year. I think he's going to have maybe close to 35. He's going to take a huge step forward with Calvin Ridley. He's been with Kirk and Ingram for a full year now. I think that offense continues to improve. They're going to, in my mind, they're the surefire first place team in that division.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about because I see here the QB that came right before Trevor Lawrence is Justin Fields. Obviously, we're 3 kind of Bears guys. I guess Cole's, you're not necessarily a Bears guy, but I know Ryan is. So talk to me a little bit, Ryan. Let's talk to you, man. How you feeling about Justin Fields this season? The Bears offense. I mean, it's going to be improved. You're going to pass more.
There's one thing about being at the bottom. There's only one way to go is up.
Okay, Bijan. Yeah, go ahead.
Justin Fields, I think, takes a massive step. I know he just came out and said that he wants to throw for 4,000. I think that's a little ambitious.
Yeah.
I'm projecting him right in that mid 3s range, 3,500 yards. The addition of DJ Moore is going to be great for this offense. The improvement in the running game with Roshan Johnson and Deontay Foreman. So I'm just really excited for what the Bears are going to do this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for this season, man. I think it's going to be a fun season. Don't know if we're going to win the NFC North. I think it's going to be tough. I think I actually choose the Lions, I think, out of anyone. And that doesn't surprise Coles at all, I'm sure.
No,
because I'm a Lions lover, of course. But
yeah, Jamie loves the Niners. You love the Lions.
I got a lot of Lions love here. We do have a question here on the board, though. Coles, maybe you can help us with this one. Who wins the Bucs starting QB job, man?
Yeah, it's going to be Baker. I think Kyle Trask is just bad. There's really no other way to say that. So I think it's going to be Baker, and I think honestly, like I could see him having a little bit of success there with Mike Evans, just because he likes to sling the ball. And if you can get the ball anywhere in the catch radius, which is very wide of Mike Evans, he's gonna come down with it. So I could see him having a little bit of success. That being said, I think the Bucs are going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, it's a rebuild year for them. They'd be smart to tank. You never want to encourage that, but like if you can go get Caleb Williams, that changes your franchise overnight. And that's a team that, he's got a Mahomes type arm. There's really no other way to say it. He's that talented. Yeah. So I think it's going to be a really bad year for the Bucs. I think Rachaad White's going to have 80 receptions. There may be, Baker's going to have some games, but he's, at this point, we know what he is as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah. All right, Ryan's at the clock here. Going to back up his Lamar Jackson pick here. We'll see where he goes. My brother started with McCaffrey and Bijan, which just is jumping out to me here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't dislike it. I think, those are good PPR running backs. But it's tough. I mean, you don't have a QB yet. That's definitely a tough spot to be in, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think here Jonathan Taylor I've taken a step back on. The offense as a whole I don't think is going to be very good this year. AJ Brown is interesting, but the fact that Devontae Smith had basically the same amount of targets, I'm kind of not taking him here. My next highest wide receiver is CeeDee Lamb, and I'm going to grab him here. Nice. Mike, I'm sure that you don't like that very much, do you?
I mean, like, whatever.
It's whatever. Talk to me, Mike. Why don't you like that? Why are we having some disagreements here?
Because I talk to Ryan way too much about fantasy football. He knows he's my wide receiver 3, and he probably just wants me to piss me off in front of.
He's my highest ranked wide receiver here. Okay, so
you like AJ? I've heard you say you like AJ Brown more. All right, I'm gonna go Garrett Wilson. I think his ceiling is just as high as anyone's. He's got Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball this year. It's a young offense. I'm more than happy going get here.
Yeah. And my brother, this is Jamie asking, actually.
Yeah,
what is the actual case here for Burrow over Lamar? Take Burrow over Lamar.
I just think it's a better, more stable offense. I need I think the ceiling is probably higher from a fantasy perspective for Lamar. I just need to see that happen. I mean, he's had some games. He had maybe the best half of football. I forgot who they were playing when he had came out bad the first half and then had 5 touchdowns in the second half and just was running everywhere, couldn't be stopped. So you have that cheat code that everyone looks for in fantasy at quarterback. But I mean, go Tigers. Give me Burrow. He's continuing to get better. He's the man. Not really. I mean, he's got all the intangibles that you can't really score for in fantasy, but having him as your, the anchor of your team, you just can't complain.
Yeah. It's hard to argue that. But of course, Lamar Jackson has that huge upside because of his ability to rush. So I don't dislike that at all.
I don't like to swing and miss on my first few picks.
Yeah.
And
I'm the same way.
I don't think Lamar is going to be a miss, but I don't know, man. I mean, Odell's washed up. I think Zay Flowers can be awesome. Mark Andrews, when healthy, is an absolute beast. The running game should, J.K. Dobbins should be healthy. And when his final season at Ohio State was insane. I think it was 2,000 yards and 21 touchdowns. So
there's Jamie's insight. He thinks Todd Monken's going to make Lamar QB4. So we'll see about that one.
Yeah, I mean,
very well said.
I agree with that. I think Lamar is in tune for a huge season, but you know, to back up Mike there, Joe Burrow just seems like a better quarterback to me, like overall. But the rushing upside for fantasy football, I'm taking Lamar for sure.
And Jamie, you are on the clock, my man. Stop asking questions and pick your pick. He's going to auto pick here.
Ryan, you're taking Lamar over Burrow?
Yeah, I'm taking
All
Lamar
right,
over
adjust
Burrow.
your rankings. I'll adjust your rankings right now.
Jamie just came online right after he went autoed, so obviously he wasn't paying attention. He does take A.J. Brown, though, to back up Hurts, so he's got a stack there. Not bad.
Nice little combo.
Yeah.
Ryan, you want me to adjust your rankings, or are you going to do it for the show?
I'll take care of it. Don't worry about
it. All right. Just make it.
You got to hold this guy to his words, huh?
Oh, all the time.
He always does.
He changes his rankings just as on the fly every chance he can get.
So there you go.
Yeah.
If you want to get Ryan's updated rankings, you have to subscribe to SportsEthos.
Yeah.
They update every 5 minutes. No,
literally.
No, if you're here, guys, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you thumbs up this video. You will get notified next time we go live. We're going live every Saturday with mocks. And then as we get closer to the season here, I know a lot of drafts are starting here in a few weeks. And we'll be wrapped up here really soon. We'll have football happening. So as we get closer to that point, we will definitely ramp up our activity here. Maybe do one a day for a week. We just do maybe the first 6, 7, 8 rounds of different formats, so you guys get more content out there. So make sure you subscribe to this channel so you guys get notified for that. Okay, we've got Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Nick Chubb, and then Waddle coming off the board there. Anything surprise you guys so far? Anyone going super high? I don't think so. Nothing crazy, right?
No, I haven't noticed anything.
Yeah. No one jumping the gun yet. And that's probably a good thing. I like to play it safe in my first rounds too. So
yeah,
can't get much safer than Kelsey. And then Lawrence, I think his floor is pretty safe there, anyways. So
yeah, so I'm gonna go Mark Andrews to snipe Ryan's stack.
You are a special guy.
This is why it's fun to be in leagues with people that you know, though.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go Mark Andrews?
I'm not. No.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab someone here that I may get a little bit of slack for, but this is a swing that I'm willing to take, and I'm gonna go Breece Hall. I'm confident in his. I think he's gonna be healthy this year, and I think that offense is gonna be great. I think that he has the upside to be a top 3 running back. Derrick Henry's probably like a safer option. I just don't want to be holding that bag whenever I think Derrick Henry's gonna be good this year. I don't want to say that because I don't think it is this season. But I'm probably staying away from him. I don't know, something about him this year just gives me the ick. And I just tend to trust my instincts when I draft. So for better or worse, Breece Hall, give me the upside. Young running back when he was on the field last year, he was incredibly explosive.
Yeah. It's all about health with Breece Hall, right? I mean, as long as he's healthy, you're sitting good, man. I think it's a good pick there.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to add Dalvin Cook now. I'm pretty confident in that. Like that workload should be pretty healthy for Breece Hall. So.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm taking Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm happy that Mike didn't snipe him from me. I appreciate that. I'll try to remember that later on in the draft.
Yeah, a little favor for you. So speaking of Dalvin Cook, where do we think? I mean, does he end up playing for anybody this season?
Man, no.
You don't think so?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Ryan, you go ahead. You spoke first.
Yeah, I don't think unless he somehow gets exonerated from these allegations, which is going to be tough to do. This has been going on. I was talking to a Vikings fan of my a buddy of mine, and he was telling me this has been going on for a couple of years now. And he was under the impression that it was settled last year, but I guess with the teams kind of considering whether they're going to sign him. They're kind of digging up more stuff, so now it comes to light. But the woman in this in the allegations has some questions about her as well, whether or not she's authentic in her allegations. So there's a chance that he gets wiped clean from this, and
Right.
he does sign somewhere. But I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
These are pretty serious allegations.
Yeah, if you guys are just catching up and haven't heard the news yet, Cook was accused, for lack of a better term, of giving a woman hush money, basically $1 million, to hush up some physical abuse allegations. So, not looking good, not great. We have to see how that plays out to see, like you said, if he ends up anywhere on an NFL team. But if he does get exonerated from those charges, then, but yeah, he could go somewhere. So. All right, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard come off the board there. My brother is on the clock now. He's got 2 running backs here. You'd have to think he has to go QB here. I think he's there's 2 teams that don't have a QB yet. There he goes. Kirk Cousins there.
Takes Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Kirk, go.
I like Kirk Cousins this season.
Did you watch, Keith? Have you watched
everyone in the Bears division
I did.
except for the Bears?
What's that? Oh, yeah. I root for everybody but the Bears.
Yeah.
No, I did watch the quarterbacks documentary. It was a good one.
Yeah, it's hard to watch that and not like Kirk Cousins.
I did. I actually texted my friend who I've given shit for his whole life for being a Vikings fan. I was like, dude, you know what? I've got a little bit more respect for Kirk Cousins. That seems like a decent dude. So
he seems like the guy. He's just the stand-up guy, that everyone should aspire to be. So he's really impressed me.
Tua goes next. Or
yeah, he has that Tua. He has a Tyreek Tua stack.
I love that.
So I was watching the quarterback documentary. I had seen it before Ryan. He was on the road, and I called Ryan. I was like, if you are not a married man, don't watch that show next to a girlfriend. She will think she will think you're a piece of crap, and she's gonna leave you for someone like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
like
they
he's
make him look
singing to his
one.
child, going to bed, singing his kid's psalms, just unreal.
He seems like a very good guy. All right, since I'm on the clock here, I'm gonna take Olave. There's no doubt about that. I do want him this season. Don't have enough shares of him in my best ball drafts, honestly. I'm just seeing if there's maybe anyone else I want to reach for here, and I'm probably not. I'm probably just gonna play it safe still. I'm just gonna go ahead and go Olave, and
like that pick.
I'm between Devonta and T. Higgins here. I'm just gonna go with T. Go with that. So wide receiver for me. Back to Jared here, who already has his backup QB there. That's interesting. Eckler and then Prescott and Watson.
Yeah, interesting strategy going with the 2 quarterbacks right off the bat. You do kind of solidify that upper hand against anybody else in the league. However, you're kind of sacrificing your depth. So we'll see how that plays out.
I don't mind it. I mean, I like Deshaun. I think he's gonna have a great season, and And if you're confident that you can hit later, if you're confident that you can outdraft people later on in drafts, then I love the move. And typically, I'm just confident in my ability to do that in home leagues and stuff. So, expert leagues are different because there's not as much of an opportunity to just get all of your guys later in drafts. So, I mean, I love the strategy if you're confident in your ability to do that, or in season, if you're one of these guys on the wire that can just, an absolute wire shark, then it's not a bad move.
Yeah. Can't disagree there. Any of these teams, starting kind of staring at you, kind of started off with a pretty good build here so far. We're
I like LaFlemme. And I don't. We'll see what happens with Jacobs. I'm a little worried there, but having that Tua Hill stack, when Tua was healthy last year, I think he was maybe QB1 for a while.
Definitely was, yeah.
So I mean, with that offense and how high powered it is, you add a weapon like A-Chain who just makes that offense even faster. I think the Dolphins will be exciting, so I really like that stack. I would be very worried not going to quarterback in the first 2 rounds, but the fact that he was a swing around to get Tua there, I think really paid off.
I wonder if he, because I know, when you're going to a draft like this, especially with people that are experts, you got to have a plan. So I wonder if he came in, and Mike, if you're in the chat there, let us know if you came in with a plan to stack those guys and you were like, hey, I could probably get 2 around 3 here.
Yeah.
But it's kind of tough because you didn't know your draft position, so I just randomized right before. So
Yeah.
so maybe not.
Jamie's grandpa daddy, right?
Yeah, he is correct.
I like that team a lot too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I do
having
too.
that Hurts Brown stack, and then Wall, who's going to be an absolute beast this year.
Mhm.
It pains me to say it because Jamie is talking shit in the chat, but I like that team a lot right now.
If you guys are joining us here, it looks like we have quite a few viewers here. So thank you guys for joining us. We are doing this every Saturday, as I said. So make sure you subscribe to our channel. But I am going to do a giveaway here for you guys. You get access to our draft guide. We have so much cool stuff in there, man. We've got the O-line rankings. We've got people that play on grass and turf and like how many games they have and how their injury status or their ability to be injured might be increased by that. Just so many cool, like just little wrinkles that you wouldn't even think of. And it's all going to be available to you for free if you just stick around. We're going to go ahead and shoot out a tweet a little bit later, and you're going to go ahead and retweet that from the page. If you're not following it already, go ahead and follow at Ethos Fantasy FB, at Ethos Fantasy FB. I'm just going to go ahead and put that here in the chat. But yeah, go ahead and go follow it so you guys can go ahead and get that tweet when it goes out. But,
Aaron Rodgers.
we're all fans of him here, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I like him.
I like him. Yeah, well, you would be the one. No, I actually have him so I have an auction salary dynasty league where it's like everyone went young and paid a whole bunch of money. Like Anthony Richardson went for like $121. Like it's $500 for the thing, but
yeah,
for the cap. But I got Aaron Rodgers for $50, and I was like, you know what? Sure.
Well, the Jets came out and said like they would be shocked if Rodgers didn't play 24. So you got him for 2 seasons. I think he's going to be good until he hangs it up.
Yeah.
Rodgers isn't going to be one of these guys that goes out there and is hobbling around. I mean, hobbling around is not the right word because we've seen him just injured like doing that. But you know what I mean. Like he's not going to be out there with looking dumb, I guess you could say. So the other team I like is Nate. Nate with. So this is going to sound dumb, but I like how I have quarterback, wide receiver, running back, just like Nate. I personally want to wait a few more rounds to be like, I like the way that team is shaken out because it's not as easy to be like, that team looks really good when you don't have a McCaffrey Bijan where you just know where your brother's going to have better running backs than everyone, right? That Chase Hill is going to have better wide receivers than everyone. So anyways.
No, I hear you on that one. We'll ask again here in about 3 more rounds and just see where we're standing.
Exactly.
With that. Yeah, I think that's probably better. But Najee Harris comes off after Aaron Rodgers there. So how do you guys feel? Go ahead.
I was considering Daniel Jones there. I do like him as a second quarterback, but having Najee sit there as my running back 1, I tend to like to start off with a nice balanced start in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm sitting over here with no running backs. I don't know. Might go lean heavy into it with a 0 RB build and just take some late round guys. A lot of swings there. We'll see how that goes. How do you guys feel about the and go ahead, Amari Cooper? Talk to me about Amari Cooper there.
I love Amari. He's an absolute ball hawk. He is in an offense that I think is gonna. Deshaun Watson had to knock off some of that rust, just getting live reps in a game, and now that he's done that, I think he's caught up. He's just caught up to speed now, and you're going to start to see that skill that he started his career with. I mean, the guy's a winner. You can say whatever you want to say about his character, but he is a winner. I mean, the fact what sold me on Deshaun Watson was him getting beat by Alabama. I think it was the national championship, and then he comes back the next year and wins in like a double overtime. Just grit your teeth, like that shows to me that he. I mean, you got to dig deep to beat some of those Alabama teams. And he's got a guy like Cooper, who's an ball hawk. He's going to be your wide receiver 1. I think he has a ceiling probably of wide receiver 10, somewhere in that range, maybe like 7 to 10. But, Watson can have a top 5 season. Chubb, I think, is going to have a top 5 season, maybe top 3. So I think the Browns are going to have a really good offense.
Yeah. Don't disagree there. I was going to ask how you guys feel about the whole situation with running backs, just their contracts, not feeling like they're getting
Yeah.
fair value there, which, could be right. But I mean, at the same time, the market is what the market is, right? And, teams can
Yeah.
go pay Dalvin Cook 10 million a year or whatever, but they're not going, I think you can pay another guy at 1.5 million and get, a good percentage of that production still. So,
Yeah.
general thoughts there, Ryan. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, to me, they need to change the CBA. They need to change the agreement, and I think that starts with allowing the running backs to enter the NFL at a younger age. If they were to play only 2 seasons in college or even one, people like Mike and I were talking about Leonard Fournette. Like that guy was ready for the NFL after 1 year at LSU. So, but yeah, if they come into the league younger, and also their rookie contracts, if their rookie contracts were shorter and not a potential 5 years, you give them another chance, an earlier chance at free agent market, make more money. It's just the shelf life of running backs in the NFL is so much shorter than basically any other position. So the fact that they're making the same amount of money as like punters on average is it's criminal.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah. I always compare it directly to mileage on a car, and Fournette's typically my perfect example. He was an NFL man his freshman year at LSU. Like he was truck sticking through people and then wasn't losing speed. You know what I mean? Like he's ready for the NFL. So all the college game did for him is put 3 years of miles on that car.
Yeah.
In his prime, in his physical prime. So it's just tough. Let me pick here and expand on that.
No sweat. And while you're picking, I'm going to go ahead and mention everybody in the chat here. 3 people going off telling me, ha, 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 Keith doesn't get Jared Goff. My lover, my boy. I'm big on Jared Goff this season. No joke about it. No secrets out there. But he does go here before I can get him, which is fine. I'm at the turn, guys. I'm down to pick 12.
Which is
I'm not
fine.
gonna get him.
Just the way that you said, which is fine. There was some serious hurt, like looking down away.
Fine, that's all right. I'm okay with it. I've come to terms with it. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple guys here I really like at running back. Wide receiver, I just don't love. I'm going to probably reach here a little bit if I go receiver. So I'm queuing in on a running back here. I'm sure Ryan knows exactly what 2 I'm looking at. Gosh, this is a tough decision for me. But I'm gonna go Aaron Jones. I think that he's the veteran presence in the Green Bay offense, and they're going to lean on him a lot. Love is going to look at him to take some of that pressure off of, stepping into Rodgers' shoes, being a first-year starter. So I think Aaron Jones is in for a pretty big season because of that. AJ Dillon last year had his opportunity to come out and shine and be that 1B, which he's still gonna be in that role to me, but I don't think I have no worries about him out producing Aaron Jones. So I think his touchdown total will increase, and first year starter in Love maybe sees some more checkdowns to Jones too. So I like him a lot this year.
So I think either guy you can draft, and it's fine. And Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and let you talk about your pick here real quick, and then I'll go ahead and interject.
Yeah, I was hoping for Aaron Jones. I know Mike probably knew that. But I was hoping that he took the other guy he was probably thinking about. Was that J.K. Dobbins, Mike?
Yeah, I wanted to leave with you with the stack,
all in on the Ravens.
I will not be doing that. I don't think that's necessarily the smartest thing. So I'm going to take Joe Mixon instead. It was another guy I was looking at. I think once he restructures that contract, there's not many people behind him other than Chase Brown, who's a rookie. So I think Joe Mixon's in line for another big season with one of the best teams in the NFL.
And there were inefficiencies in his running game last season, but all offensive line improves, then you're seeing some better efficiency out of him. I think it's vastly overblown, and of course that contract situation with the restructuring, he should be the guy this season for sure. So in redraft, you can absolutely fire away. So go back to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. There's a lot of talk in the fantasy football sphere about which guy do you take at which ADP, because obviously you're paying a heftier price there for for Jones over Dillon. So are you leaning towards Jones there, Coles? I'm guessing
100%. Like,
yeah.
I just think that I think that Jones is undervalued. So getting him in the 5th round, like, I'll do that all day. Like, we've been playing a lot of best ball, doing a lot of best ball drafts, and you want depth at wide receiver in best ball, underdog best ball. You can start 3, or you have to start 3 wide receivers, and then a flex. So you can start up to 4 receiver. And a lot of times people like to stack wide receivers early. So whenever we're stacking wide receiver, Aaron Jones is just sitting there in the 5th round, and like, I'm taking him all day at that position.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable having him as, in this case, RB2, but as my first running back, I'm comfortable with having him there, and then getting like an Akers or Rashad White, a Pacheco, something like that. So I love Aaron Jones at that. What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, Aaron Jones is a no-brainer for me there. I just, from what we've seen with AJ Dillon, it hasn't been enough for me to sway either way. Now, the only knock on Aaron Jones is his rushing touchdowns over the last couple of years has been criminally low, but he should be the security blanket for Jordan Love. And I think this team is going to be a lot better than people think. It's hard to say as a Bears fan, but the Packers will be better than people think.
The Packers could win the division just as easily as come in last place. Like, I think anyone in that division can win it. But I just think the Packers have a good defense. Historically, as a Bears fan,
my brother goes with Debo again. I know he's been joking that he could be running back 8 on the season, which we never know about that. But yeah, Debo goes there, and then Pitts, and then Madison, of course. People are high on him this season.
So one thing I did want to bring up earlier when I took Cooper, which I thought was really smart. We had David Mendelson on our podcast. He's a triple play fantasy, 33rd down. He was a great guest. We'll definitely be talking to him more. He mentioned that with the whole Watson thing, him taking time off as a quarterback, you can't necessarily go out there and get reps. Like, you can't practice with full defenses, right? Like, you can maybe throw one-on-one coverage, but like, you don't have live reps when you take that time off. Whereas Calvin Ridley, like, he can still run routes. He can still line up next to guys. So it's just the difference between quarterback and receiver being on a suspension like that, which is why he thinks, there was a lot more rust from a Deshaun Watson than what he expects from a Calvin Ridley. So I thought that was pretty good insight. But anyways.
No problem. I am on the clock here. I'm going to go, guys. I promise. I don't normally draft this guy. I'm a little wary of him, but I think I have 2 solid wide receivers right away. So I'm going to go ahead and take a chance on D-Hop, even with a less than ideal situation there in Tennessee at the quarterback position. Tannehill, I'm not super stoked about, but I think, Hopkins, he's got that ceiling on him. So hopefully hopefully he stays healthy. Let's start with that. And I'm going to go ahead and back that up with the Dobbins pick there. So I'll go ahead and take that guy off your hands. Yeah. Definitely needed a running back there. I considered going running back, but I went ahead and got my guy D-Hop. We'll see how it goes there.
Well, yeah, for you to have your RB1 in the 6th round and it's J.K. Dobbins, I think is a great thing for you.
Yeah, I'd agree.
He's kind of the bottom of that tier break for me. After JK, I don't necessarily feel as comfortable with players after him as my RB1.
If I would have went,
he fell.
What's that?
I can't believe he fell to you, to be honest.
Well, I'm happy about it. I'll take it. But if I would have gone RB there, I'm not huge on Dameon Pierce this season. I mean, especially in full PPR, he'll be fine. I think a lot of people are bullish on him. I'm not. Just the pass blocking was terrible last season, so I'm not super sold on him. Miles Sanders was another guy I was looking at. I'm really high on. I think Swift has a really high ceiling.
I agree,
but we'll see. Pretty low floor though. But I thought it was a little early to reach for him, so I went ahead and went wide receiver, running back instead. All right, McLaurin goes next, and now we've got Mike on the clock. He takes Kittle, his first tight end there. Let's talk tight ends, guys. Tight ends kind of a minefield. We've got Kelsey and Andrews, and then it just kind of falls out from there. Who are you guys high on outside of those two?
Yeah, from a dynasty standpoint, I love Pitts. I love Pitts. I think that he's young and hasn't broken out yet, and it's inevitable. You're sitting with Drake London and Bijan Robinson, who I think is probably the best young core, next to like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. But the three of them are going to be, once they find their guy at quarterback, they're going to be a force, one of the best offenses in the future. So dynasty perspective, I love Pitts. This year, if I don't get Kelsey or Andrews, which I haven't really been drafting unless I get really good value on them, then I tend to wait for Dulcich is probably my favorite guy, just because I think Peyton, Russell Wilson, both proven winners in the league. They have to take a step forward and get things figured out there. And then I think Dulcich's talent that you saw at UCLA, he was a fucking beast when they can get him the ball. Like he had some runs where you're like, whoa, who is this guy? So I think he's going to benefit maybe the most in that Broncos offense.
Well, I think, what you're looking at for tight end, ultimately you're looking for that ceiling because, you can get the 3 for 30, 3 for 45 guys, whatever it is, right? And they'll plod along and be fine.
Touchdown dependent, yeah.
But you want to get the guys that are really high ceilings when it comes to tight end. So I like either going early with Kelsey or Andrews. I like Pitts. Pitts is my next guy. And then if I don't get one of those three, and hopefully I'm getting Pitts at a value. If I'm not getting one of those three, though, I'm waiting till late for my tight ends. So some of the guys I'm looking at was Gesicki with the Patriots, a guy that I've been drafting a lot in best ball. Guys like that. So
yeah, Gesicki's lining up in the slot a lot, working with the wide receivers. They kind of view him more as a wide receiver than a tight end. So
yeah, looks like DFO's going to time out here. Come on, guys, get in the
game. I think he might get lucky here with these and grab. He get Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
Yeah, he needed a wide receiver, paired him up with Russell Wilson. So I was kind of hoping he didn't pick Jerry Jeudy there. But now with the landscape I'm looking at, I don't really like the wide receivers in this range. I kind of like a running back more. And I think I am going to go 3 running backs here and kind of solidify my flex spot. I tend to sometimes make the wrong decision on who to start in my flex on a weekly basis. So by grabbing my third running back pretty early, it kind of negates me from making that decision on a weekly basis. So I'm going to grab Cam Akers here as my third running back.
Perfect. Love it. Mike says he thinks Hawkinson's closer to the Andrews Kelsey than the rest. So he's actually high on Hawkinson, which,
Hawkinson's interesting. It's just, he has a very expensive ADP. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of deterred away from, but he should be in tune for a big season.
Yep. He went 4th here to Jared right before Mike, so I'm sure Mike wasn't happy about that.
Ryan, you didn't want to go Sanders over Akers?
No, that's a tough call for me, but I like Cam Akers over Sanders.
You want me to change your rankings again?
Are we going to adjust those?
Yeah, Mike's just mad that I took Akers.
I got him pulled up. I'll change him.
Appreciate that, buddy. Teamwork.
If you guys are sticking around here, looks like a few people have dipped out, but please dip back in because we are going to be doing that giveaway here probably at the end, maybe about the 8th, 9th round, somewhere in there. I'll go ahead and throw it out there so you guys can go ahead and get involved. But obviously, go follow all these guys on Twitter, myself, Fantasy Trucker, and Cole Sports. Stay up to date on all that, but at Ethos Fantasy FB is where that giveaway tweet's going to be. So make sure you're following that as well at Ethos Fantasy FB. It's a whole mouthful. There goes Goddard, and there goes the guy DeAndre Swift. So I love that pick. I think that's a really good place to take him.
Yeah, I agree. Ryan, Miles Sanders, your RB13. Akers is RB17. You want me to swap them?
If you could, that'd be great. Yeah, I like to say stay water, be fluid, go with the motion, and
I leave it for now.
Don't be stuck in your ways. So Mike, if you want to go ahead and do that for me, that'd be great. I'll
let you rearrange these. I'm just gonna make a note though. Live draft.
Feel free. Go ahead, make notes all you want, buddy.
Over Sanders. Okay.
Ayuk is what Coles went with. I mean, I think everyone at Sports Ethos is high on Ayuk this season. So, obviously, you're high in San Francisco, I believe, in general. So, talk to me about Ayuk, man.
I just think he's like the best receiver in that room. Debo is definitely like a big play threat and so versatile. You can line him up anywhere, but Ayuk's taking massive step forwards. The hype around him this preseason is that he looks better than he ever has. So yeah, I just want a piece of that offense in general. And Ayuk tends to be the guy that I end up getting at his value. Kittle, I like Kittle a lot in that he's the engine of that offense. I've talked about that before, where like whenever he's involved, that offense is at its best. But in fantasy, I tend to, like we said earlier, go Kelsey, Andrews, or skip until these later rounds. I like some guys later. So Ayuk's who I end up tending to roster, I think.
Perfect. You nice little striping there going on. You got wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back incoming. I don't know.
Unintentional, yeah.
Maybe a backup QB. It is getting a little late here in the draft.
I know I'm looking there, but
I'm looking there, but yeah, it's kind of my thoughts every time I pull up that screen. Let's take a look at what the QBs, top QBs on the board right now. Derek Carr, Bryce Young, Jordan Love, Stafford, Murray, Stroud, Pickett. Howell. Nothing too exciting.
I think I'm going to pass here. I mean, I like Bryce Young. I just don't really love his wide receiver room. Mm-hmm. If I can add some depth here, going to
one thing I like to suggest, if there's anyone from Sleeper out there listening or watching, I'd like to suggest that you guys add the thing that Underdog has where you can choose two positions and have them both up there. So like I could be like, okay, what QBs and wide receiver running backs are up here?
Yeah, that'd be a nice feature.
Add that, Sleeper. I do like Sleeper in general, though. I think it's a very nice interface.
This is a guy that Ryan actually sold me on, which doesn't happen very often. So
and Shane's all about Ayuk.
I was hoping that he fell, and
Hollywood Brown,
seems to be the case this entire draft. We're just going to be cherry picking each other's picks, huh?
You haven't necessarily done that to me, but thanks for the way to flatter yourself. I think that the thing that Ryan sold me on with Hollywood Brown is that he's just like going to be a target hog there, which I can agree with. I mean, I think the Cardinals are going to probably be the worst team in the league. That being said, like you're starting to, let's tease this actually. Next week, we have an awesome sports medicine doctor coming on. He's going to be a guest and we'll get some Kyler update. But I've seen some tweets out there that like there's potential Kyler comes back a lot earlier than we're all talking about. So that could change everything that I think about the Cardinals. Because right now I think they're just going to be in a tank mode and try to go get your Marvin Harrison Jr. or Caleb Williams sweepstakes. But Hollywood Brown to me is going to be a target hog, as Ryan sold me on. So
yeah, he is going to be a target hog, and I was really hoping he was on my team here. So now I'm kind of scrambling. I would like to go backup quarterback, but I think the one I'm looking at is possibly going to fall to me in the next round. So I'm going to take that gamble, and I'm going to take the next best wide receiver, in my opinion, should be a consistent target for one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I'm taking Mike Williams. I just think with Herbert, he should be throwing close to 4,500, almost 5,000 yards every season. So Mike Williams should be a huge benefactor of that.
I like it, man. And I am going to go ahead and shorten this timer when it gets back to me. So I'm going to shorten it to 1 minute. So everyone that's in the draft room, just be aware of that. We're going to go a little bit faster here after round 7, just to make sure we get this wrapped up. Yeah, make sure you get it wrapped up in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah. So I want one thing I want to say about the Chargers offense. Like, I think they're going to be outstanding. I want to figure out where I can get a piece of that offense. I haven't been able to really yet, unless it's Herbert, because I'm not in love with any of the receivers. I do like Quentin Johnston. So maybe that's where I would like to stack, especially in like a best ball underdog. I need to get some best ball Charger stacks because I think Kellen Moore coming in is going to have that offense awesome. I think Herbert has one of the most talented arms in the league. Like every single thing that could have gone wrong last season did go wrong. And I don't know what he finished. Ryan, do you know what he finished at quarterback?
Not off the top of my head, but it wasn't as
I
high
pull
as
it
it
up
should have
quick.
been.
Yeah, but it was surprisingly high for his. Yeah, he was quarterback 11, and everything went wrong. So that's his absolute floor in my mind. I think he's going to be a top 3, top 5 quarterback this year.
All right. And let's see, we got Pacheco and Carr. Oh, Pacheco went off the board too. Of course, Shane takes Pacheco.
Michael Lafemina.
Lafemina.
He said, think Everett's a good way to get in. I agree there. I mean, you can get him at the end of the draft. I can't pay that price on Keenan Allen with his age, and Ryan thinks that there's not going to be a fall off there. I just think there is eventually. And I think it could be this year. So that's why I lean more to Quentin Johnston. Mike Williams is scary always with injury, and he has never really broken out in the way that he's supposed to, I guess. So I think I like that point. Everett's a good way to get in there.
So, let's see. My Arnold's on the clock here. My brother backed up Kirk Cousins with Derek Carr. Nothing too exciting there. I do like Kirk Cousins again this season. I think the Vikings are going to pass a whole heck of a lot with their wide receiver room and no Dalvin Cook there now. But
there's going to be a lot of prayers being said in that quarterback room for your brother. Talk about the most vanilla quarterback room of all time.
Yeah,
Cousins
that's
and
true.
Carr.
And there goes Rashad White. So these running backs I've been eyeing here for the last round are all getting sniped. There goes Connor.
Tell your brother, text him on the side and tell him he needs to take Phillip Rivers in the last round just to really round out.
Okay, so I'm looking at I've got to go running back or QB here. I probably got to go one of each here. Just taking a look. I think I've got my QB already sorted, but I think taking a look at running backs, I had some of the guys out there that have already gone, of course. So I think I got to take the gamble on Dalvin Cook here. I think it's got to happen. I know he's the top guy, so it's kind of boring, but
oh no,
you don't think so? Too early? Maybe. No, you stopped me. You stopped me.
Just make sure your kids don't watch this.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I have to feel bad about that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine. You turn to Javonte Williams instead.
Javonte is a great pick there.
And I'm going to go back this up. My QB I'm going to go with, and as you said, I think he could be back sooner than other people thought, which is possible here. And just going upside here at this point with QB, so I think Kyler Murray.
I mean, listen, man, you needed to take some risk with how you waited that long for running backs, and you ended up with Dobbins, which I think is incredible value. I have him as my RB15, and then Javonte, if he is healthy and has a freakish recovery from that knee injury, you could be sitting there with a pretty good running back room. You know what I mean? You had to take a couple gambles there after just the way you started your draft. And if those pay off, you could be in an awesome spot.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you guys talked me off the ledge with Dalvin there. I almost overthought it a little bit too much. I was like,
just think of it like who signs him right now? You just can't sign him, right? It looks so bad if you bring him in after all this news coming out. I don't think he has a team. It's hard. It's going to be hard to see him get signed off seasons, put that way.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here at this first 7 rounds here. Just go ahead and ignore any of the 8th rounds coming in here. Top 7 guys here. Ryan, who are you liking here, man? Who's a guy or who's a team that's kind of sticking out to you as having a good start?
In the beginning, Lafemme, I did like the beginning of his draft, but I'm not too big on the Madison Kittle picks.
Agreed.
I would say I do like the way that Dave Dave is putting together his team over there. The addition of Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, and then Darren Waller. I think Darren Waller is going to have a phenomenal year. Talk about a tight end that could be the number one target on his offense. And then Jerry Jeudy and Russell Wilson, who I project to have much better seasons. So I do think he has a pretty strong start through the first 7 rounds.
Yeah, had he gone Danny Dimes instead of Rodgers, he might have the best team by far, because then he could stack Waller and Jones and then Wilson and Jeudy. I shouldn't say by far. I haven't looked at everyone else's yet, but I would love that if he would have gone Dimes over Rodgers there.
Well, I think one of the appeals also of Daniel Jones is you can go ahead and get his wide receiver room late. Like all of his wide receivers are going late.
Yeah,
like
take a gamble.
Take a gamble on a couple of them late.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he has his number one pass catcher in Waller. Anyways, let me.
I forgot to go ahead and shorten this. I'll go ahead and wait till Arnold picks since he's already on the clock. I got too caught up in looking at Dalvin Cook and wondering what could be. Let's see here what he goes with. Once my brother gets on the clock, I'll go ahead and shorten it.
I really like Jamie. His team, again, needs me to say it. He was talking shit in the chat earlier on. But his team looks really good. There
we go.
I mean, Hurts, Daniel Jones. I can't imagine anyone has a better quarterback room.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look, and Watson, Prescott. Yeah, I like his quarterback's the best. He's got that Hurts stack with A.J. Brown. I think DeAndre Swift has massive upside. He's got another Eagle there. Christian Kirk, he had such a great year being a primary guy, and he's only going to get better with Ridley getting some attention there. So I really like Jamie's team.
All right, we've got Montgomery and Pittman coming off the board there. And if you guys haven't seen it already, we did go ahead and share that giveaway tweet. So you can go ahead and go to @EthosFantasyFB and retweet that for us. And we will go ahead and get you into that giveaway. @EthosFantasyFB is the Twitter there. So go ahead and hit us with that. And we'll be giving away a draft guide access to one person. Again, that draft guide is just so freaking phenomenal. So many cool people there that have gone ahead and contributed just really high level thinking about this stuff, even higher than what you're hearing here, because they've had time to sit and actually think and look at it. This is rapid reactions. That's people that spent hours on these stuff. So go ahead and get it there @EthosFantasyFB. You can purchase the draft guide in the description here on YouTube. There is a link there for you to go ahead and purchase that draft guide. So, all right, Ryan, you're on the clock, man. What you got going here?
Yeah. So let's see here. Where am I going to go? I need to start looking at a backup quarterback here. Isn't my number 2. There's a few that I'm looking at, but the one that kind of pains me to take. And I think I'm going to just pull the trigger and kind of set my fandom aside and grab Jordan Love.
Yeah, I was considering him too. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the team's just going to be good. And I'm, they say he has some rushing upside too. So we'll see how that plays out on the field. But yeah, I think I needed to lock in someone that I feel comfortable as my quarterback too.
So I like McCormick's team a lot too. I think he has a very high upside team. I really don't like Richardson. I'm not a believer. I think he's going to fall on his face and not be a good quarterback. But if he's good, then extremely high upside there. Ridley has extremely high upside. Christian Watson has extremely high upside. So from an upside standpoint, his team looks good. Oh shit! I forgot it's a minute.
You're on the clock. Was that an auto or was that your pick?
That was my pick. I was between him and someone else.
Okay.
And
fair enough.
So the reason I want Kamara there, I just don't think that his suspension is going to be I don't think it's going to be 6 games anymore. I think it might be 2.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just such a beast when he's on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, I love Kamara there, especially getting him that late. I mean, he's so late in drafts now. Someone I probably should have been considering also at 7-12 even, because I think, it'll probably
he would have been great on your team. Yep.
Yeah, it'd probably be like a 2 or a 4 game suspension at worst. So,
Yeah, I think I saw some tweets saying law experts are projecting that he's going to get 2 games, or if at most. But
yeah,
maybe Dalvin Cook took some of that attention away, and they just slide a 2-game suspension here next week while we get some news on Cook.
Yeah.
Let's go, team! Let's go!
Of course, Dalvin Cook is taken with an auto draft.
Nice. There you go. No one has to worry about that now. I'm safe from myself. Quentin Johnston, there he goes there to Jamie. Nice wide receiver.
That's kind of disappointing. I wanted to see someone draft Dalvin Cook.
I almost did.
Yeah.
Almost had a little bit of a panic draft there.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie, I almost want to drop Ryan as my partner right now, and Jamie, let's sign it. Let's get an underdog account together, brother.
You guys are all over some of the same guys.
Ryan, I'm kidding. Don't. Ryan can get sensitive.
It's okay. I know you're kidding.
It's better to have that.
But I do really like that team. I mean, he's putting together a nice squad.
There goes the first tight end for Nate, Evan Engram there for Jacksonville. That's actually a guy I'm pretty, especially since I have Trevor Lawrence, I probably would have considered grabbing him here. I like him though. I just like the Jacksonville Jaguars in general.
Oh, that came up fast.
Yeah.
Rapid fire.
Freiermuth, Treylon Burks, and George Pickens. Treylon Burks. So, Cole's, you're on the clock here. Talk to me about, how Hop joining them knocks him down your board. He's in the 9th round here. Is that fair?
Yeah. I definitely think hurts his ADP a little bit, but I don't think as much as people are talking about. There may be an overreaction there. I think Tannehill, it makes it a lot better. Hopkins, it's not the greatest spot for him, right? But Tannehill can get you the ball. He's had success with his arm. There's certainly a lot of room there with Henry running the ball. It kind of opens up. Hopkins may have some, one-on-ones that he's just going to win every time. And at the end of the day, Burks not being the primary target probably benefits him at this point in his career. That being said, of course, you're going to have some production taken away. So if Burks takes that step forward, like you've heard, at least athletically, he's supposedly coming to camp in better shape. So we'll see what happens. But I think the Titans, that was a big signing for them to make them competitive this year.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Tony there, he's a guy that we're going to have to see a lot of stuff play out, that who's going to be the guy that steps up for the Chiefs this year. Tony's certainly going to have the first shot at that, and he's incredibly athletic. He's just got to stay on the field.
Yep. I like the late swings on Kadarius Toney. Absolutely. Like you said, athleticism's there. Brandon Cooks goes next. And we've got Shane on the clock here with this high upside squad. See what he backs up with his let's see. Oh, Samaje.
I like that pick.
Mm-hmm. Hard to go wrong there, especially I was hoping obviously he'd fall to me since I already have Williams, but probably wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, Samaje could carve out a nice role throughout the whole season, depending on how good he does while Javante's out.
I kind of like your brother's team. I mean, you don't see Debo on any of my teams. You don't really see Montgomery either, even though I think Montgomery's good value there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Evans, I don't have him on any of my teams, but he's been nothing but 1,000-yard receiver. Just getting a 1,000-yard receiver historically at the 9-8 spot is tempting.
Yeah, I was almost going to take Evans over Tony, but the quarterback is what helped sway me on that one.
So I'm coming up here. I've got some question marks. I mean, I've got, obviously Javonte Williams, who has the injury issues. And I've also got Hopkins, who I'm not entirely sold on. So it's probably going to be either a running back or a wide receiver for me here. Maybe one of both, since I'm on the turn. And I think I already have my choices here, or at least one choice.
So you were looking running back or wide receiver, but the guy who went right before you is a wide receiver who plays running back. So that is not an option.
That's not an option. Okay. We'll skip that one then. Okay, so I'm going to go A.G. Dillon for my running back. I'm going to go ahead and scoop him up here. And then still kind of not entirely sure for wide receiver who I'm going with. Juju would be nice. I like Bateman. Jameson Williams, I like.
Are you completely ruling out Jahan Dotson?
Not completely. I'm not in love with him. Talk to me about him. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, towards the second half of the season last year, he led the team in targets. He was able to get 7 touchdowns. He's going to definitely be challenging McLaurin for that number 1 spot in Washington. I think he's definitely made some strides towards the end of the season.
Well, okay.
I do really like Dotson. I agree. I want to for those who are listening, it looks like we have 17 people on right now.
Yeah.
Put in the chat what you think Washington is going to change their name to. Let's have that conversation, because the new management, new ownership that came in said they're going to rebrand. So we're going to have a new team name this year. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I heard the Monuments, which I think would be good. The Washington
Monuments.
Yeah, I would like that.
I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that one.
Here's a funny one. That hasn't pick happened fast. They clocked it at 140 miles per hour, so that's a good little joke there. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna rename there. I saw Pigskins out there. That was kind of an
Washington
one.
Pigskins.
Yeah,
It's bad.
Yeah,
a little reference to the skins, obviously. Was that Jamie? Did I see you say that, Jamie? Back to the football team. Yeah, there you go. Just the Washington football team.
I think with a lot of different sports sharing names across the different sports landscape, I think they should just go with the Washington Warriors and bring the Warriors to the NFL. That's my vote and my opinion on that.
Monuments.
What's in the name?
I saw like bringing back something Indian related so they can go back to the old helmet, which was interesting.
Let's see if I can find this tweet.
I love that Zay Flowers pick.
Oh yeah, I was hoping that he fell.
There's a lot of people posting pigskins, because I think the pig is a reference to something from their past, and obviously the skins from Washington Redskins. So, all right, Zay Flowers goes next there. Let's see, Defoland. Is that what you say there? I've been calling him DFO Land because I don't know what.
What's his name, Mike? It's Dave. Foland,
it's actually
right?
it's a college friend of mine. Him and I share a couple teams in fantasy, and we usually have a spot or two
Dave.
open.
Come on, Dave. Brutal. Brutal.
Great job, Dave.
So we've got you guys all grouped up there so you can steal each other's draft picks. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, that does not make me feel good about my next pick. I'm going to take the upside and grab Mike. How do you like to say this guy's name? He pronounced it funny.
Charbonneau.
Charbonneau.
Charbonnet.
Yeah, I'm taking Zach Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, yeah. Charbonnet. If you guys haven't seen
All
that
right.
giveaway tweet, go ahead and jump on that while Cole's makes his pick here. But it's at the Ethos Fantasy FB. Go ahead. Charbonneau.
Yeah, he's been pronouncing it Charbonneau since he came into the rookie draft over there.
Oh, nice one. Raising a pinky while he pronounces it. Charbonneau.
Oh, crap. Okay, well, I'm just gonna make sure I get my guy here. Gosh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get my second quarterback. I'm gonna stick to my guns, make sure no one gets cute and goes 3 quarterbacks. Stafford, he's such a good quarterback. Like for him to come over to the Lions and everyone's like, oh yeah, like Stafford's never really, never been in the playoffs. Like that's a move for them to potentially, like the fact that he went to the Super Bowl and won is just, it shows what he is, how smart, how good of a quarterback he is. I think if he wasn't confident that he was going to come back from this injury strong, he wouldn't. So I think he's just an awesome quarterback, and I hope he comes back strong.
Yeah. It is possibility, absolutely.
I was actually really considering Pickett there as well. And I see Jamie did get cute and get his third quarterback, so I'm glad I went Stafford.
Yeah, good call.
He stacks him with Freiermuth, yeah. Jamie has a very smart draft brain. Every pick he makes is intentional, and I like his team a lot.
Hey, I'm intentional. I say, hey, I like this guy. I take him. I have intent to take the guy.
Keith's bad strategy is scroll and ooh, I like that guy.
That's a good looking guy. I like that. Yeah. Elijah Mitchell goes next there. I'm just sandbagging. So when we get into this experts league we're gonna do, I'm just gonna go ahead and just take all your money. So
Yeah,
just so you guys know,
this is just a decoy draft, huh?
That's
right.
Smart.
That's smart.
Taking all the worst people. So I almost drafted Dalvin Cook. All right. Bateman goes next there. Then Stroud.
Love CJ Stroud.
That's his third QB. So he's the first player here to take a third QB. It looks like. No, he's not. Sorry. Jamie took a third QB. Also.
Yeah, with this pick, I'm not liking this pocket of players here. May venture down the board here a little bit. I don't want to go too far down, but I want to grab someone that I think is going to have a good year, pair him up with my second quarterback, and that's Romeo Doubs.
I like Dobbs. This season.
Yeah, you just love anyone in the North.
I love anybody that's in the NFC North that's not a Bears player.
There's a lot of similarities between you and Ryan. So
take that as a compliment, Keith.
I saw Jamie. It is a compliment. I saw Jamie say, "How dare you, Mr. Trucker?" He wanted Charbonneau to fall bad. Yeah. I knew he did. I saw that on the turn when you were looking at running backs, Keith. I was like, "Oh man, I know that Jamie wants Charbonneau in that 10th round. That would have been great value." Mm-hmm. And the Trucker snipes him. I was going to actually mention it on my pick. If he was there, they'd be like, this is a guy that I'm very tempted to take, but I know someone behind me won't like me as a human anymore, so I'm going to let him go.
Well, Jamie, I'm sorry.
In good faith, I was going to let him go and hope karma came back to me when we're talking trades later on.
It's all part of the master plan, Shane.
Yep.
Shane says you guys are talking me out of my picks. It's all part of the master plan, man. Don't worry. No, I as I've said before many times on this show and all over the place, I am just coming back to fantasy football after like half of a decade away. So still very much a noob still. Obviously have some insights here that I've taken and looked into and run some math and play a lot of fantasy sports. So.
But Keith, you know what's helped you get caught back up to speed?
Is the draft
the Sports Ethos Draft Guide.
guide. That's a
Just
fantastic
so much
idea.
content, so much player profiles, tiers, different strategies. So many bright minds came together to make that thing. So you spend a couple hours in there, you're prepared to win home leagues and just really outshine.
Yep.
And there's nothing better than just flexing on your friends with a badass fantasy team. You get to, all football season, just wake up on Sunday and take it to your friends, shove it in their face, and the draft guide's going to provide you that.
Yep. I'm on the clock here. I've got 19 seconds. I already know, I believe who I'm going to take here. I'm going to take my backup tight end, and I'm actually not as low on him as other people are with the addition of Hopkins, but I'm going to take Chig as my backup tight end here. Just going to double check that's not overlapping with Kelsey. It's not. Okay, good. The bye weeks. I don't really need to take another tight end also because I have Travis Kelsey. If he goes down, my season's probably ruined anyway, so who cares? And then for my next pick, I think I know where I'm going here. And I need to shore up my running back position. I'm going to go with Brian Robinson. Not really digging a lot of the wide receivers around here. Lazard, Cortland Sutton, those guys, they'll plod along. They're just not super exciting, I don't think.
Well, Sutton, he's just kind of getting put on the back burner. Everyone's talking about Tim Patrick, Marvin Mims coming in. There's a lot of competition in that wide receiver room.
If I was going to go high upside, Sky Moore is jumping out to me there. How do you feel? Let me ask you this, Ryan. Darnell Mooney, how do you feel about him this season?
I love Darnell Mooney this year. I recently saw a picture of him where he put on some muscle and he's beefed up a little bit, which is always great to see. He was kind of looking like a twig his first couple of years in the NFL. But I just think now that he doesn't have to pretend he's a wide receiver one on the team and he plays more of an auxiliary piece to DJ Moore, I think it's really going to bode well for him. I think he has his best statistical season this year. And I can't wait to see him be running around the field this year.
Those are fighting words, Ryan. I can't wait. I can't wait to clip that where you're saying Darnell Mooney is a little bit of a twig and then tweet it at him and just have your favorite childhood team despise you.
He was looking rather slim through his first couple seasons in the NFL, okay? May have been a little harsh by calling him a twig. I apologize, Darnell.
Yeah, man. Those are fighting words.
Hey, you're a beast now, okay? Darnell is a beast.
My brother's talking smack to me as he always does. We're hoping to start a family league. Get on that family league, brother. Get started, man. I'll play you for nothing. I'll play you for free. I'll beat your ass.
He said little brother greater than big brother, which I tend to agree with. I'm the youngest of three, so I agree all the way there. B Cork.
Tank was taken also. Jamie, another Jamie's guy, so he's ticked off here. You didn't get Charbonnet or Tank. There's probably very few drafts this season he hasn't gotten either of those two guys. So good job, everybody. Charbonnet. Shane's on the clock here. Took Dalton Schultz on the last one. Let's see what he goes with. Anytime my brother talks smack, I'm reminded of all the times in the basketball court where I just took him out. So I've always got that over him. Never beat me, little bro. You were a better basketball player than me, but I stopped playing you at that point. So that's called being smart. That's what being a big brother is all about. Smarter, not harder.
Knowing when to hang up the cleats.
That's right. Knowing when to hang up the cleats. Or the basketball sneakers in our case.
I actually played for the first time this week on Wednesday. It didn't go very well. I was guarding a 6'7", 6'8" guy that was just draining threes from NBA range, dunking, just absolute monster.
No thanks. I've been in that situation before. I'm 5'8" on a good day, so yeah, I'm not guarding those guys. If I do, I'm following the crap out of them, especially in an open gym. Like you're not getting dunk on me.
To start the game, I hit a 3 in his face, and I told him, I was like, I haven't played since the pandemic. That was pure luck, and I went on to just miss every shot I took the rest of the game.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah.
There goes Odell Beckham. Any thoughts on him this season in Baltimore?
Dave's an LSU guy with me. So he's starting to get, you can see with his last two picks, he's starting to get a little homer picks with Kincaid, which I actually love Kincaid. That's a great pick. Beckham, LSU guy, total homer pick. I'm going to go Laporta here. I love Laporta. I think he's stepping into an awesome role in an awesome offense. I know, Keith, you're a huge fan of that pick. But he really is stepping into an awesome role, and he just has that prototype tight end body that you want to see. At OTAs, they said, at rookie OTAs, they said he was the best player on the field by far. I think you're gonna hear more hype. His ADP is gonna shoot up, so I'm happy to have him and Dulcich there.
Yeah, I like Laporta this season. I've taken him in quite a few best balls, so of course I'm on board. It's a Detroit Lions, so
yeah. I mean,
Mike,
your favorite team, Mike.
Mike and I have been taking Dulcich and Laporta, and we just keep running into that problem that they share the same bye week.
Yeah,
so it's a little frustrating on our best ball teams.
That is true. I did that with one. I think I did with my QBs in one league, and I was like, I didn't even notice it. And I was like, oh crap! I think it was Justin Fields, and somebody else has the same bye week. I was like, oh no. Yeah. But I mean, take one at the last round. I mean, whatever. It's no draft capital really, or you'll just come with two and just stream your last one, that week. So
I mean, I've made a living off of streaming tight ends.
Yeah,
tight ends and defenses streamed basically in every league every year. Luckily, I don't think I have any defense leagues anymore. I'm guessing we're gonna have defense in the experts league, Keith.
Yeah, we'll have defense / special teams. No IDPs, but that would be exciting. Actually, you know what? Speaking of IDPs, I think we will do some of those drafts. As we get a little closer to the draft season here, some IDP drafts, some standard league drafts where we don't have any points per reception at all. So we're going to switch it up a little bit here in the next coming weeks. Do tune in for that. So yeah, we will have some defense here in the experts league for sure.
I love Nico Collins, especially here in the 13th round. Could be the number one receiver there for CJ Stroud.
Yeah, great pick. I don't know what I'm doing here, to be completely honest.
IDP drafts, yeah. I know Arnold's in for the RDP drafts. I'm going to use your list, Arnold. So
I've never done an IDP draft, honestly.
Well, if you guys don't know your IDPs, and I'm going to be working with Arnold also to kind of figure out where we take those IDPs and draft where we taking position players as well. What round do you start taking them? Where do they start making sense?
I don't know who I'm drafting here.
Well, draft away, man. Click that button.
I don't like this guy, but I have Calvin Kamara, so why not?
Yeah, why not?
Mike, I really thought you were going to shaft me on that pick, and I'm taking Roschon Johnson.
I looked at him and knew you were going to draft him, and I'm like, nah.
I appreciate that. I felt the same way about Laporta. I was going to grab Laporta. I'm like, Mike's probably going to grab him right here. I'll let him go.
I really don't like Kendre Miller as much as some people. In the 13th round, and I have Kamara. Okay, I'll grab him. He's definitely someone that I could see myself end up dropping and getting another tight end on that 9th bye week. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see how news plays out. I mean, someone like him, you're going to hear a little bit of this injury news throughout camp. Maybe get a little bit of hype, and I'll look back and like that pick. But
D. Follin takes the first
Homer
defense. Yeah, Buffalo Bills defense there.
See if that starts a trend here.
T-Bass will be his 14th round pick.
There goes the guy I was looking at potentially with my next pick there with Mingo. I like Mingo in Carolina. We're all looking for upside now. That's pretty much the name of the game. And as you can tell, the energy level went down a little bit because, not much to get excited about. I mean, we're taking stabs at people, but we really don't know if it's going to work out for us at this point.
Yeah, you're just swinging. Hope you don't miss.
We don't miss, yeah. I miss plenty. Let's see here. So somebody took Mingo. So I was looking at him. think I'm going to take another rookie wide receiver here, though, in Rashee Rice and see how that works for me. And I'm eyeing a few QBs here, but I think I can wait. I will go ahead and just snag a defense, actually. I'm going to go ahead and snag the Niners defense so that Arnold can't get him.
I love
Great
that.
defense to snag. Yeah.
Incredible defense. They're they're just so good.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to draft a defense, and hopefully it's a top 5 one, and I think the Niners are guaranteed one of those. So,
who would have thought John Lynch putting together the best defense in the league by far?
Zay Jones goes next. Cowboys defense came off after the Niners. Eagles. You guys still have a little bit of time left here up until this is over to go ahead and retweet that giveaway tweet. It's out there on our Ethos Fantasy Football account. That's at Ethos Fantasy FB. Give it a retweet, and you'll get entered for a chance to win one of our access to our draft guide. So go ahead and do that. Whole lot of information in there. Very, very cool. A little bit of time left. There goes Adam Thielen. So interesting theory I heard from somebody here. They weren't throwing them the ball a lot in Minnesota as much. They were trying to deflate his value. Now he goes and joins, a different team. Is he cooked?
Here comes T-Bass. Is Thielen cooked?
Is Thielen cooked?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a short way. Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to go all the way to hyping him to be like the next Cooper Kupp this year.
No.
I was hoping that was coming.
I'm not hyping him.
But no, I think he's cooked. I look at Shark or Terrace Marshall, not because they're two LSU guys, but because I think they're just more talented. And Bryce Young's a beast. Like he's gonna have games where you're like, whoa, that's why he's the number 1 pick. His brain is, he took Tucker. He just trolled me so hard. Screw you, Dave. So yeah, I think like from a instinct and IQ level, Bryce Young is at an elite, top 5 level in the NFL. So you're going to see games this year where it's like that, he's the future. So one of those guys are going to benefit. So I like going them both late.
And our defensive guy here, Arnold, took the Eagles after the Niners and the Cowboys came off. So you want some top-ranked defenses there. It looks like they're on the board there. Osborne, talk to me about Osborne there, Ryan.
Yeah, KJ Osborne.
I'm just going to do it.
Is going to be the number 2 in that offense. And anybody playing on opposite side of the field from Justin Jefferson is going to see some good, pretty open looks. I mean, watching that documentary, that quarterback documentary, it seemed like every one of Kirk Cousins' highlights.
No,
took your Trey
that was
Lance
my
play.
strategy this entire time. I thought he was going to fall. Jamie.
Ouch.
It's just a mock. It's just a mock. It's just a mock.
Tell yourself that. Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you off. That was tragic to me.
No, yeah, it's okay. I was just saying that in the documentary, it seemed like all of Kirk Cousins' highlights that they were showing on there was touchdown passes to KJ Osborne, and I just think he is going to be the number 2, and we've seen Minnesota support 2 top-tier wide receivers, so I think KJ is in line for a big season.
His first name, I think his first name is Amir White, but I guess this is a play here on if Josh Jacobs does hold out here. So what are your thoughts on that? Obviously, you got Saquon, but you've also got Jacobs that could potentially hold out.
Yeah, I don't think Jacobs or Saquon holds out. I mean, you saw Saquon message in or tweet about. He said, "It is what it is." He's already coming to terms with it. Understands that it's unfortunate, but it's the reality. And we've seen the whole sit-out situation work, and it doesn't work out well. So I don't think that any running backs moving forward, unless they're completely I don't know if it's completely on the other side of the spectrum, but. I don't think either one of these running backs hold out.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. I agree with you there. And darn you for taking Tannehill. That was probably who I was going to try to snag here with Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft. Yeah. Probably wouldn't have made it back to me, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I knew you had that stack. I just was so frustrated about Lance getting sniped. The only reason now I'm frustrated that you brought up Thielen, because the only reason I brought up Chark there is because I just talked up those two guys and Bryce Young, and I was like, there's no way anyone's drafting Lance. No one likes Lance. And of course, Jamie.
Yep.
Big brain, Jamie.
Big brain. He probably just did it to take you off. Let's see. Is he in the chat here talking?
He
smack?
shouldn't have done that, honestly, because I'm a spiteful son of a bitch, and
He did.
when it counts, when it counts in that experts league, I remember everything. Let's just put it that way.
Watch out, Jamie.
You're not safe. You're not safe, Jamie.
Yeah, him grabbing his fourth quarterback.
Garoppolo's an interesting guy this season. Obviously injured, so we'll see when he comes back. But could be nice. Baker Mayfield there, who we talked about earlier. And we're getting towards the end here. Gus Edwards goes there. Mac Jones.
I'm totally fine leaving these drafts without a kicker or defense, in the hopes that some more stuff shakes out as the offseason progresses.
I was going to grab QB here, but geez, everyone's grabbed all those QBs, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip that. I'm not grabbing a kicker. I don't mind that. There's some leagues where you're required to grab a kicker or defense.
Yeah,
and that's fine. See if I can find anybody with some upside here. Gesicki's still out there. I've gotten Conquo. I'm gonna go ahead and grab. I'll grab Wandale. I'll go ahead. Mr. Irrelevant is Wandale Robinson. But that's gonna do it for us, guys. That is it. That's our full PPR Superflex mock. Coles, Ryan, I thank you guys so much for for taking your time here to break this down for us in real time. A lot of fun, guys. I mean, Superflex leagues. I think I do like this format a lot better. Just more entertaining. You get QBs flying off the board. But yeah, if you guys don't follow these guys on Twitter, do follow that absolutely at Fantasy Roadshow. Follow their pod. Listen to their podcast, guys. I swear they have some bright minds here and some really excellent stuff going on. Really excellent guests, dynasty rankings, all that good stuff. Here's all of our personal Twitters. Anything you want to close with here, Coles?
Yeah, just be sure to tune in this week. We have sports medicine doctor coming on. We're going to go through all of the injuries with him. Javonte Williams comes top of mind for me. We'll talk about Kyler Murray. We're going to go through, do the A to Z from everyone we're thinking about for injury updates. So I think that's going to be an awesome podcast. So be sure to tune in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to chime in, but we have episodes coming out every day of the week. Tune in. We're going to be covering going into our redraft rankings. I know we just hammered through all of our dynasty, but now we'll go into our redraft, and then we're going to go through divisional breakdowns and look at each division as a whole, their fantasy outlook, some gambling takes as well. So make sure you tune in.
So we're going to have
North, so I can just talk about the Lions all the time. Go ahead.
The Lions, yeah. So Keith can talk about the Lions. We're make sure you check out the draft guide. We're going to start having SportsEthos guys on, introducing all these bright minds that put that together. You look at Jamie's draft like that. To me, not trying to jump too hard on the Jamie bandwagon, but that is a fantasy. That's a fantasy brain right there. Like, that's a big brain team. He's put in a lot of work on the draft guide. The fact that it's $4 is unreal. So, a lot of different perspectives, very high level, big brain fantasy analysis. So come check it out.
Lots of smart guys here. But until next time, guys, I am Keith. Follow me here. Follow Mike. Follow Ryan. We will catch you next week with another mock. Until then, peace.